Let's talk about a feeling that is just way too common for anyone who makes things. It's that sound of silence you get right after a big launch. Have you ever done this? You spend months, maybe even years, pouring your entire soul into a project. You get every single detail just right, you're building it in secret, polishing it, and then you finally launch it to crickets. It's a really frustrating story, and it happens all the time. But there is a much, much better way. And it's not just some new tactic. It's a completely different mindset about how you build things. One that helps you avoid that painful silence by turning the whole process on its head. Because, see, the classic model, it kind of forces you to choose. First, you have to lock yourself away and build the perfect thing. Then, you have to totally switch gears and become a marketer to tell everyone about it. You're constantly torn between the two, and a lot of the time, both the product and the marketing end up suffering. So to really see how this new approach works, let's dive into this really fascinating case study. It's the story of a programmer who basically turned his work into a multi-million-dollar reality show. So back in 2014, this Dutch programmer, Peter Levels, he makes this wild, almost impossible announcement. He wasn't going to spend years perfecting one big idea. Nope, he was going to build and launch a brand new startup every single month for a year and document the entire messy process for everyone to see. And this just shows you the reality of that journey perfectly. The first project, gift book, it failed. The second one, Play My Inbox, also failed. Most of them just died. But then something clicked. By month 7, he launched Nomad List. And then by month 10, Remote OK. 2 huge successes out of 12 attempts. Okay, so what happened to those 2 successes? Well, fast forward 10 years, Nomad List on its own is now pulling in over $5 million a year. And Remote OK, that's bringing in another $3.4 million. And get this, these are run by one guy with 0 employees. The numbers are they're staggering. But here's the crucial thing to understand. The money, that wasn't the real prize. His most valuable asset, the engine that powered all of this, was the audience he built during that 12-month public experiment. Especially, and maybe this is the most important part, especially during all the failures. Okay, so why does this work so well? Well, it all comes down to a really simple but profound idea about visibility. In the open source software world, there's this concept called Linus's Law. And what it basically says is that if you get enough people looking at a problem, someone is bound to spot the solution pretty quickly. A bug that might take you days to fix by yourself can be found in minutes by a crowd. And this law, it applies to so much more than just code. When you build out in the open, you're creating this amazing probability machine. You share a problem you're having with pricing or a design issue or marketing question, and you just dramatically increase the odds that the one person with the perfect answer will see it and help you out. You're letting the community solve problems with you. Now, there is another really critical piece to this whole puzzle, and it's all about patience. It's about understanding the kind of hidden math that's behind audience growth. This is really the heart of compound interest, right? And when you're building an audience in public, what you're doing is compounding attention. And for a long, long time, it feels like nothing is happening until all of a sudden, everything is happening all at once. Let's just look at a typical path. After 6 months of pouring your heart out, you might only have, say, 500 followers. A year in, maybe a couple thousand. It feels slow, it feels linear, and honestly, it can be pretty discouraging. You're just stuck on that flat part of the curve. And you know what? This right here, this is the danger zone. This is where almost everybody gives up. They decide, you know what, this just isn't working, and they stop right before the curve is about to shoot straight up. Pushing through this flat part is the entire game. So how do you push through? You do it by making a fundamental structural change to how you even think about your work and your marketing. The shift in thinking is deceptively simple. Instead of building first and then marketing later, you just combine them. The very act of building, when you document it, is your marketing. They're not two separate competing jobs anymore. Think about it like the ultimate productivity hack. It creates this powerful 3-for-1 deal. 1, you're actually getting work done, you're improving your skills. 2, you're making a real product or service. And 3, the simple act of documenting that process is automatically generating all the content you'll ever need. It's one investment with a triple return. Okay, so how do you actually start? Well, it's less about creating some polished, perfect persona and a lot more about just embracing the messiness of how things really get made. I mean, just think about your own social media feed. It is packed with perfectly curated success stories, right? In that ocean of perfection, showing the real, messy, behind-the-scenes stuff, it just stands out. Authenticity cuts right through the noise because it's so incredibly rare. And here's what that really means in practice. Don't just share the wins. Documenting that you spent 3 hours stuck on one stupid bug, or that a feature you were so excited about was completely ignored by users, that is the content that actually connects with people. It shows you're real. It builds trust. So I really want to leave you with this one last thought. We are all programmed to hide our failures, to be embarrassed by them. But what if reframing them is the whole key? What if the story of what went wrong is actually far more interesting, way more helpful, and ultimately more valuable to your audience than the story of what went right? All right, that's a wrap for this episode. If you have any thoughts or suggestions, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who needs it. This is Smiling Cottage. See you next time.